I believe this match, as Juanjo Magueda was saying the other day, and I agree, is a players' match. And I think this knockout stage can go into extra time, or Madrid can make it to the semifinals in a context of pure chaos. And with some strange goals, something happening to David Raya, or a player sleeping. There are no patterns. I don't recall any logical pattern of a Madrid comeback. Only the example that you have, because he was a spectacular Christian and decided on his own to turn that match around. All the others have been chaotic. In what minute would we agree to still be at 0-0? I don't know if I would agree to be at the 70-0-0. The most popular belief here is that the Negreira thing was paid to level the playing field. So from the point of view of those who believe that, what more can I tell you? I mean, but furthermore, they feel wronged because they say, despite paying, we had no benefit. Look how foolish we are. Barca is aware that it has gone on the highway at 180, 190 kilometers per hour. But when someone raises a hand to say, hey, you're going at this speed, Barca says, but where's your badge? Are you a police officer? A kind of dangerous neighborhood where we live. A sign at the entrance. Even the police don't enter here. Our own rules. That, for me today, is Barca.
Well, we choose to believe. We choose to believe despite all the problems, and especially football-wise, there are not many arguments. But, well, I'm getting encouraged because I read a lot of Eloy Lesina, and I really like what he writes in on Twitter. And, well, then the way he expresses himself and talks about Real Madrid with the merit that this has, because he is Catalan and is there. And yet, well, hey, Eloy, how are you? Hello, how are you?
How are you, Miguel? It's a pleasure, really, to be here on your channel and right in a busy week, I would say.
Yes, because let's see. Are you following these timelines of Tuesday being denial, Wednesday depression? I don't know what until reaching next this coming Wednesday.
I think I'm in chaotic mode. I have to admit that. I mean, we already know the objective part of this Madrid. We all know what's there, the problems of the team. It is a team that has problems against Leganés, Valencia, Real Sociedad. So all that, as we already know, is like, I think the time of the season has come to dedicate a part of ourselves to the madness. Because it's like, if there isn't a club that can afford this luxury, like if it's not Madrid, which club is going to be, with all the things we've experienced. So I would tell you that the beautiful order they've made of day one, I don't know. I've skipped that too. I go a bit by moments. And it's also true that you and I, who know that on social networks, there are profiles that are really boosting this, you get on that wave. Because now it's about saying, I want to have the best week possible. Objectively, we already know what might happen and what would normally happen, but what if yes? You live a bit in that stance and in that slight possibility that it could happen.
The thing is, here we have two paths, like those books from when we were young, the choose your own adventure ones, right? Where you went to one page or another to reach the final destination. Here, there are many people choosing the logical thing and the impossible thing. They visualize the match, see an Arsenal again together and doing well. And well, sinking, playing good football, moving the ball well, all these footballing arguments that Arteta's team showed us the other day and that several teams have shown us. Beyond having problems with Leganés, Valencia, Real and such, it's that later when we have faced these teams, you see that it is impossible, and you say how it's amazing that with the squad we have, this happens, right? So you go down that path and, well, the game ends today and that's it. But you go the other way and say, let's see. There have been some very strange situations in recent years with Real Madrid. Not as bad as this, but similar. The other day, I was reviewing what was said after the match against Paris Saint-Germain, the one in which they win 1-0, that Madrid practically doesn't leave their own half in Paris. And then what happened. It's true that it's only 1-0. And it's true that here Madrid had been giving a different impression during the start of LaLiga, all this. But I don't know. I mean, there are situations that you project and you say, well, 1-0 before the end of the first half. for Mbappe to have his day. Things like that, right? That one holds on to, right?
You know what I find really funny, Miguel? That usually Madrid in comebacks isn't a practical team. Madrid isn't one to score a goal in the first half, another in the 60th minute, and another in the 80th. In fact, when I visualized the comeback these days, I was thinking, I believe a goal from Arsenal, it takes away the possibility from us. And then at the moment, I think maybe it's what the team needs. I mean, I'm a bit in that stance because I think about comebacks against City, against Chelsea, and others. And the comeback begins when the team gives you a slap at the Santiago Bernabeu, not in the first leg. I mean, Chelsea goes 0-3 or 0-2, I don't remember now. City scores that goal, Mahrez, in the 70th minute, and then Mendy saves it on the line. So even in the match where you approach it thinking you have to score a goal early, there's always a slap from the opponent. This time it would be much more complicated, obviously, because it's 3 goals, not they are 2. But still, I think that in Madrid's comebacks, objectively, there is no pattern. Sure, no, on the contrary, is something utterly crazy. So I don't rule out any scenario, although it seems completely logical to me. Think about everything we are thinking here, what you have just explained about thinking. Obviously, if you really want to fire up the people, an early goal would be ideal. But then, football is what it is, and I think that Madrid also has to learn that a goal from Arsenal, it would complicate everything a lot, but it wouldn't change it radically. Or at least you can get back into it, even knowing how complicated it would be. And what you objectively said is that now, for example, I imagine any foul at the edge of the Arsenal's area, I might slightly turn my head to the side after what happened the other day. But also about Mbappe. The other day I was talking with friends and I said, you always during a season say a lot the phrase any Real Madrid fan of now, yes. It is the most important match Mbappe has had since he arrived. Now, objectively, yes, because I think any player who comes to Madrid, the context of a comeback is something very special and it hadn't happened until now. And after what happened, with the extra motivation that Paris Saint-Germain is surely waiting and seeing how Barca is, you also rely on that Mbappe, that Vinicius, that Bellingham, and to all of that. So, we'll see a bit. Now, I don't expect a logical pattern, I'm telling people. Hopefully, Madrid scores a goal before 10, before the break, and another at the end of the match. But for some reason, a 1-0 at first makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes, man. Notice that we're going for the emotional side. I'm going to focus on the sports aspect now. Let's be a bit more logical. But of course, in this pregame, your mind wanders because you say, well, we've seen situations like that with them taking the lead. But it's true that with the more difficult results we were coming from, somehow, we never had to come back well, except against Paris Saint-Germain, and City in the season of 2014. In the others, it's because you complicate things at home against Bayern Munich. You complicate things at home because you bring a good result from there, right? Therefore, what seems to me is that in this situation, even for the Madrid fans, the Modric, I mean, those who have been there longer is a bit different. Modric was indeed there in the one with Wolfsburg. It's similar to the Wolfsburg one because you come with a 2-0 against and you have to score 3. 3 to win in that case, 3 to draw in this case. But you have never come with such a bad result against Calvo, which makes it a bit different in that sense because you also need the other one not to score. Even if they do score, it still energizes you a bit more because this team runs on electroshocks, right?
Of course. I think what's going to change here, as you rightly say, is also a bit the people. Because when you've won the first leg and you go to the Bernabeu, although it's an atmosphere of champions, you don't go with that. With that weight on your shoulders of saying, no, we have to go all out from minute 1. So I think the comeback atmosphere will be created from the first minute, and I hope Madrid takes advantage of it. However, just as I tell you, I fear they might score a goal on you. Obviously, it's crucial that Madrid doesn't concede one. I mean, you can't lose your head from the first minute, go too far forward, and leave yourself exposed. What happens is that, I think Madrid this season, it is not capable of managing this control. So I have the feeling that it will not be a game won from the tactics board. We have been criticizing Madrid all year that Ancelotti doesn't stay, that the tactics don't stay. I think this match, just the other day, Juanjo Maqueda was saying it, and I agree. It's a match of players. And I think this elimination round could go to extra time, or Madrid could make it to the semifinals in a context of pure chaos. I mean, I can't imagine anything else. I can't imagine a match where at the end we say, wow, what nuances Ancelotti has added. Today, he really made a tactical decision, and I don't know which player played more inside and the other outside. No. I mean, this has to be rock and roll. In fact, there's a lot of people this week, and just thinking about it seems like a positive madness to me, saying that Rodrigo shouldn't play and Endrick should. And people ask for this from the point of view that he's a guy who takes the ball, goes forward like with blinders on, super powerful, super fast, with the goal in his sights and a bit rough. But I really think that I imagine a Madrid that gives us a great night from absolute chaos and with some strange goal. Something happening to David Raya, a player sleeping. Though there are no patterns, I don't remember any logical pattern of a Madrid comeback. Only the example that you have, because he was a spectacular Cristiano and he decided to win that match on his own. All the others have been completely chaotic.
Even that one from Dortmund in 2013. I mean, but it was a first half with many chances, none were scored, and the 2 goals came at the end. I mean, the one of Ramos on February 2nd, if it lasted a little longer, if the referee added a little more time, I think that tie would have ended with a win, because we needed 3-0 to win, as they had defeated us 4-1 there in Dortmund, right? That could be a good...
Here, the interesting thing would be, Miguel, for example, to consider starting at what minute, or rather, at what minute would we agree to still be 0-0? It's just, I might agree to that, because logically you think, right, the first half you have to score a goal. For me, it's still very important not to concede. And I think about this. I don't know if I would agree to still be at 0-0 at the 70th minute, 0-0. Because like you said, against Dortmund, you missed opportunities in the first half. I remember one from Ozil, who shot towards the near post, a very clear one from Higuain. And you end up scoring, I think, in the 82nd and 85th minutes. So, well, like I said, people shouldn't expect a textbook match. And if we're at 0-0 in the first half, don't worry. The thing is to have that. And then also wait for what we were saying, that if certain players are like Vinicius or Mbappe have a good day from minute 1. And obviously, the sooner you instill fear in Arsenal, the more likely they are to fall. Because for them to go into the break with a good result, I think it's going to be, I mean, morally, it'll be good for them. Even if later on, the chaos can still break loose.
Yes. Well, chaos players and Endrick kind of player from the start. I dismiss the latter. Chaos and players, yes, because the second one, because we have that, and the first one, because that's what has happened in Madrid during this whole season. Therefore, and going a bit beyond the sports aspect, you say that if this is one, it won't be due to Ancelotti's nuances, because I don't know how it will be. Maria, I'm going further. Whether they come back or not, I am one of those who think that Ancelotti cannot continue at Madrid. Hey, thank you very much for everything you have given us and so on. But these embarrassing situations this season are not even remotely normal.
No, I mean, I am very clear that, there are many people who consider that after the 0-4 against Barca, it should have ended there. For me, it is precisely the next match, which is against Milan. I mean, for Madrid to have a 0-4 and a 1-3 at home in the Champions League, with the Champions League they were having, I think everything that has come to Ancelotti since that day is free. Moreover, if the season goes well, blessed problem to be able to bid farewell to this gentleman in a grand manner. Because now the feeling we have is that when Ancelotti leaves, he will leave us with a bad taste and might somewhat tarnish his legacy, at least in the short term. Because when time passes, all the bad is left behind and you are left with the good. But now the feeling is that. So precisely when there's talk about the possibility of Madrid winning a title this season, I think at least it could be a slightly sweet farewell for Carlo Ancelotti. Whether it is the cup because he would win it against Barca in the final, or the league because something happens, or imagine the champions. But I don't see more. I mean, in the end, I say it a lot. I understand that the grades are given in May. I understand that when you win the champions, everything is worth it. But I give up absolutely every week of my life and every weekend was in Madrid, and I want to have a good time. And if we had a team full of peers, I could understand if Madrid played for nothing. But Madrid with Mbappe, which many of us have been waiting for 7 years because I have been very humble about it. Sitting every weekend to watch the game and see this. And if you add to that the fact that your eternal rival is having a season that I don't know when they'll have again, because they are bringing together all the good things at peaks, unexpected performances, good football, and a tactically good team, all of this is emphasized much more. So I think that Carlo Ancelotti should no longer be coaching Madrid, but I believe that by the end of this season, if that happens, then we should definitely just look at the box seats. I'm sure of it.
Yes, por ahí, it's just like that. Well, that's not the subject of this video, and we have to go. But you mentioned Barca. Of course, plus there's Barca's good season. Well, what's it like to be there, to see everything they're doing, how they disregard all the rules and everything, and here nothing happens? It will be as frustrating as it is for me, naturally. But what do you perceive there? You there among Barca friends you have, you see that they say, well, look, the end justifies the means. I don't care. I mean, what I call, since the Negreira affair appeared, is a moral downgrade of already accepting the unacceptable as long as things go well for them and they get out of the situation they were in, right? You think, damn.
Look, gracias a Mari, I would say that the most popular belief here is that the issue with Negreira was paid to level the playing field. So, from the perspective that they believe that, what can I tell you? Moreover, they feel disadvantaged because they say, despite the fact that we paid, we did not receive any benefit. Just see if we are fools. What I just told you now summarizes people's view here. And then there's also a reality. I think people aren't stupid. When you talk individually with a Barcelona fan and ask them about Laporta, I swear I haven't talked to many who praise him. The thing is, since the team is doing very well, they accept paying that toll on the entity's prestige. Because on the weekend, when they sit down to watch the game, they enjoy themselves with Hansi Flick's match. It's as if sometime later they propose the idea that Barca stops being the club of the members. If a sheikh comes to them and says he's going to sign so and such for the fact that they will have fun at Bonju and with the Camp Nou, they will accept it. And all the narrative of being more than a club and so on, they'll just forget about it. So I think that today football, it is saving them. And the issue with everything that has happened with Dani Olmo is that, well, in many discussions I have here, I say it, during Christmas, you were thinking that he could really be registered because the money was about to arrive and now it has changed. Now, the issue is that they are telling the police officer that he cannot do a police officer because that's what Barca is doing. Barca is aware that it has been going on the highway at 180, 190 kilometers per hour. But when someone raised their arm to say, hey, you're going at this speed, Barca says, but where is your badge? Are you a police officer? That's it. I made a tweet one day that scared me a little because I thought people might get alarmed. But I said it. All of us, you and I who are talking here, the people who watch this video, dangerous neighborhood where we live. A sign at the entrance, not even the police enter, our own rules. That, for me today, is Barca. There is no image I have imagined that better represents what they are.
A no-go zone, right? Of football, right?
Yes. It's in all colors. In all colors. When it wasn't Estebas, who in 2022 admitted that he voluntarily allowed all of it, now it's Tebas pretending in front of the other clubs, the CSD. And when it's not the CSD, well, I don't know who it will be. But anything makes sense to me. And the thing is, we forget very quickly. There is so much football during the weekend that after 2 days, we forget. And what happened with Dani Olmo will be put on the back burner until, I don't know. And then I also think here that, no, I don't want to go on longer, that Real Madrid's role also, the lack of activity and response from the club, I think this torments us even more. Because you think, how am I supposed to be upset as a fan if the club, which is supposed to be feeling the harm, is not doing anything? And we're kind of stuck in that loop.
That's right. I mean that too. I talk about it every day on the channel. Hey, Eloy, it's been a pleasure, man. I mention you a lot on the channel. So every tweet you post, we have to replicate it here because you always nail it, man. And man, in these 15 minutes, it was wonderful because it was bang, bang, bang. So yes, follow Eloy Lesina because it's wonderful to read and listen to him. Thank you very much, man. And let's see if that chaos and madness happen this coming Wednesday.
Pleasure. Let's see if we enjoy, and at least no matter what happens afterward, we remember that night. A big hug.
Of course, a hug. Bye-bye, dude.